peace in the Middle East, peace with Russia, Ukraine, you'll see gas prices go down to $30 a barrel. Charlie, what does that mean? $1.75 a gallon. That's what it means, okay?
Hey, I hope so. I hope we get that money.
Hello, Charlie. I am a moderate, so I don't align with either. But one thing I want to bring up, and I think it's very important, is how affected the black community is in terms of how this election goes. So, what would be the best option for the black voter in terms of this upcoming election?
It's a great question. Now, I'm the whitest guy you'll ever meet, so I'll do the best job I can from a strictly policy standpoint. Is that fair?
Do what you can. Do what you can.
I'll do what I can. Right. But that doesn't mean I can't talk on the issue. I just want to be clear. Number one,
yeah, my permission.
Number one, and this was mentioned earlier, illegal immigration. We have an obligation to our fellow man and our fellow citizen, especially black America. And black America has been cast aside and cast down for far too long. And so here's what the Democrats are doing. They are bringing in 10 million foreigners into largely black neighborhoods and areas that are going to black schools, black social services, and gymnasiums and school centers that are all, really used by black Americans, and saying you're now being put last again. Black wages are going down as a result of it, and black purchasing power has gone down significantly. Donald Trump had the best economy for black America in nearly 100 years, from home ownership to income levels, from the ability to afford basic services, and we can see this in many different ways. The final thing I'll say is this, is that I find it insulting that Kamala Harris thinks that she can just win over black men by saying we're going to legalize weed and give you cash. I agree with the previous speaker. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
No, well, some of that we're doing to ourselves with how the culture has degraded in the past 20, 30 years.
So, in my opinion, the way to try to revitalize these communities is through economic opportunity, through school choice, through restricted immigration, higher wages. And final thing is this. I imagine you want to be able to own a home in your life. Yep.
Yes, I do.
And you live here in Phoenix or plan to, is that right?
Well, I live in the Scottsdale area, so
yeah. It's even more applicable. Okay.
Yeah.
So when Trump was president, the average mortgage payment in Scottsdale, Arizona, so how much you pay to own a home a month, was $700 a month. Now it is $2,000 a month. The average down payment in Scottsdale, Arizona, when Trump was president, was roughly about $30,000. Now it is $75,000 in Scottsdale.
Yikes.
The average income it required to own a home in Scottsdale, Arizona, when Trump was president, was $75,000 a year. Now it's $135,000 a year.
I've been saying this, man. The prices are just up. And the problem with the Democratic Party in this specific election is that they didn't talk enough about the crazy increases in prices. It would be different if the prices were moderately up, or let's say in 2019 they call it you have to make $75,000, and in 2024 you have to make $85,000. That's still an increase, but it's probably just natural inflation. No, you have to make $130,000 from $75,000. That's an exponential increase in prices. Housing is insane now. But the Democratic Party did not focus on that. But if the majority of Americans focused on that, you can't be mad that people didn't vote for you. What do you want? What do you want to happen? What do you want to happen? And Charlie Kirk made a good point. You can't say we're giving you free weed. So you should vote for us to black men. Not only is that a stereotype, that's just kind of racist. I kind of hope she didn't say that. I really hope she didn't say that. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and assume she would never say something that racist and disrespectful and disgusting. But I'm going to look into it on my own free time. But let's continue.
To own a home in Scottsdale. And so these numbers are chilling. And it's outside of personalities and whether or not, Kamala's brat summer, all that crap, right? What's more importantly is Donald Trump demonstrated that it was easier for you to be able to own a home, which I want you to be able to own a home. And let me tell you why I want you to own a home, and everyone. I think homeownership creates better citizens. I think when you guys aren't renting, you care more about your neighborhood. You care more about your community. You're invested. You actually get richer in the next 30 years. When you guys are renting, you are making one person richer, your landlord. You're surviving when you're renting. You are thriving when you're owning property. And we have the lowest home ownership for your generation in modern American history. Donald Trump will bring it back. He did it the first time, and he'll do it again.
I'll take your word for it. Thank you very much.
You going to vote for Trump?
I'll plan on it.
I am Democrat, and I'm more left-leaning. I would like to say that, and I would also like to say that I do want to hear you out on things. I want clarification on things. I'm not here like trying to push a certain agenda. I just want to know how you feel about things and actually have a conversation. But my question for you was if you believed if IVF was wrong or not.
IVF done correctly is moral, which would have to be one fertilization of an egg at a time.
So you believe that otherwise IVF is...
To be consistent, I have, as a pro-life person, I have to say that if you were to, I have to use the right word here, place multiple fertilized eggs into utero with the intention knowing that most would not survive.
And to be honest, guys, I don't know much about IVF. I'm going to be honest. I don't know much about IVF, so I'm learning a lot when I hear them speak. I don't even have a real opinion on it because I don't know about it. And that's okay. It's okay to not know about things. I'm young. I'm in college. I'm trying to get a degree. I don't know about IVF. But hopefully this is a good discussion. Let's see.
Then I would believe that would be immoral.
So correct. Do you think that we should ban IVF?
No, I don't.
All right.
Because I just said there's a correct way to do it. And let me just be more clear. Charlie Kirk's position on IVF is in the vast minority of the country. So you have to be politically realistic.
Okay. I just was wondering because I know that I think it's 50% of women above the age of 35 often do have trouble with having IVF.
Which is a deeper issue beyond IVF, which is that we are increasingly infertile because we're poisoning our food supply. But that's a separate issue. But yeah.
Okay. And then another thing I had a question.
But I am pro-IVF, for the record.
Okay. Thank you. That answered my question. Another question I had was what your opinion was on the universal tariffs that Trump wants to put on imported goods, the 20% tariffs.
Yeah, I'm in favor, yeah.
And so we do tend to have foreign retaliation with those tariffs, like we have seen from China. So you are in favor of the tariffs, even though they can increase taxes and prices?
Did that happen in Trump's first term?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it didn't. He did over 150 tariffs. We didn't see it. In fact, we saw prices go down.
Okay. I just had one last...
I really do enjoy her questions because she's actually asking real questions regarding politics, which I think sometimes we forget that we're voting for a politician. People were voting for a politician. You need to know what policies they like. Like, for example, I didn't know about IVF. That's something for me to learn. If that would affect people I care about or affect American citizens and it's one of his policies, I want to know about it. But it's almost as if a lot of these students don't care what his policies are. They couldn't care less. But I'm happy she did. And Charlie Kirk seems like he knows what he's talking about when he comes to answering them. Don't know. I need to look into the 20% tariff. I didn't know that he wanted to add a 20% tariff. I don't know how that would benefit the country, but I'm going to look into it.
Last question. I was doing some research. I don't have, like, off the top of my head the exact sources, so if you're going to ask me which source I got, I could not tell you. But I was researching, and I saw that red states do tend to have a more regressive tax policy on middle-class and lower-class citizens
Yeah, so what you're referring, I'm going to help you out. I disagree with the study. What you're referring to is red states tend to have sales taxes instead of income taxes.
Correct.
And I reject the premise that that's regressive.
Okay.
So, can I explain?
Yeah.
So, for example, the state of Wyoming, which is it's one of the most Republican state in the country, or the state of South Dakota, has a 0% income tax. So that means you guys, if you live in Wyoming, you pay nothing on the money you earn. So how do they fund the government? They have a sales tax. And so liberals would say that's a regressive tax because it hurts lower income people more.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. What's your name?
Grace.
Grace, thank you for your time.
Of course. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, you too.
So I'm a big fan of, I'm anti-income tax, big fan of consumption tax, so I'm very pro-tariff. Every single article out there now is that Trump's going to have the highest inflation ever because of tariffs.
These people are so sick. I mean, we're living through the highest inflation ever, and they say Trump will. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah.
So, right, and I know that he extended many of the tariffs, Biden extended many of the tariffs, and he also increased some of them, right? So what is specifically, from a numerical standpoint, are they arguing when they say that he's going to have the highest inflation
It's a great
ever?
question. What they're assuming is that Donald Trump will slap all these tariffs on these companies with no warning, and then all the price of your goods will go up 10% overnight. Here's how it really works. Let's just take, and we've done this in the past, let's take a company like Toyota. So Toyota is a Japanese car manufacturer, right? And Lyndon Baines Johnson back in the 1960s said we're going to do a 25% tariff on all pickup trucks. Now, how do you avoid a tariff? It's not a trick question. You avoid a tariff by making the product in America.
That's kind of what I thought would happen. And I kind of hope that happens because, as we all know, there's kind of a job crisis right now in America. And people are literally online saying that they have a college degree, they have several degrees, they have a master's degree, they have all these degrees, and they still can't get a job. So I would hope trying to force companies to build factories in America would, aid this. But what do I know? Maybe I'm just an idiot. Maybe tariffs will just drive prices up. I hope not. But if Charlie Kirk is right, then that sounds like a great idea. Why is that wrong?
No tariff. So Toyota, what they do to get around the pickup truck tariff, which, by the way, they're huge. You guys have seen Toyota pickup trucks. They're everywhere. They make all their pickup trucks in America. So what it is, it's a forcing function to redomicile labor back to the United States, not necessarily to just slap a tariff on top of goods coming in. But it's more important to understand this. If we wanted to sell an American-made product like Ford, okay, we are not allowed to sell our American cars in the interior China. They will tariff them 200%. So it's time for us to start reciprocate with tariffs of our own against countries that have always slapped tariffs on us. So it's a bunch of fear-mongering, and I always ask people the question, if Donald Trump will give you inflation with tariffs, why was there no inflation his first term? And they can never answer that question.
Awesome. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Under Trump's administration, how is energy production going to benefit us the most?
Well, we're going to drill, baby, drill. And we are going to fix the strategic petroleum reserve. One part of this that we're going to lower gas prices, but think about what's actually raising gas prices in addition. It's actually not as bad as it was because Biden has opened up the strategic petroleum reserve to lower gas prices for the election, and the Russian-Ukrainian war. That war is artificially boosting gas prices. And also, make sure we don't go to war against Iran, which would be a profound mistake for our country. So that's a really, really important thing. Drill, baby, drill domestically. Peace in the Middle East, peace with Russia, Ukraine. You'll see gas prices go down to $30 a barrel. Charlie, what does that mean? $1.75 a gallon. That's what it means, okay?
Hey, I hope so. I hope we get that money. Anyways, I actually learned a lot in this video. That's crazy. I didn't know a lot of these things was going to happen. I didn't, man. When you hear tariffs, you automatically think of bad. But if what he's saying is true, hey, I hope. Anyways, if you have any suggestions for me, comment down below. So that was for Jojo, and I'll see you on the next one.